Alright, so I got my new planter here and I need to fabricate quick hitch for it. So basically I need to duplicate this quick hitch dimensions so that I can just back up and quick hitch to that and go, which I've done this for several implements now. You could see this one I had to fabricate this top, weld all this junk here so that it fits this right here. This is the quick hitch that I've been using. It's a John Deere one. I like it better than the generic ones. But anyways, I have to get everything to line up just right so I can back right into it. And by no means am I any kind of professional welder or fabricator. I just know enough to be dangerous. But to do things like this. So far, so good. It looks like he's got the dimensions right on the width of the two bases, which is a huge head start. This one's just a little bent. If I can, I might heat it and bend it back just a little, but then I have to make the top of this, which he's definitely way off on what he's got here for the top link. So that's going to take a little bit of work. The good news is he pretty much knew what he was doing. These bottoms, I mean, they're 1/4 to 3/8 inch off pretty much any way you measure them, whether it's from here to the ground. But the important part is I thought it was going to dog track, but so in other words, from here to this frame, they're a little bit off. However, from here to the frame of the planter, they're pretty close to dead on, so it shouldn't dog track. I thought when I hitched up it would dog track a little, but it's pretty good. So I don't think I got a dink with this at all. It's just going to be this top part, figuring out the right distance and the right width of the steel on the top here. I don't recall what it was exactly for the hitch. I'll have to measure that up, but it's a good start here that this is already pretty well set. So the trick here now is obviously you get the top piece centered and you want the distance the same from that one to that one. You can be off up to probably almost a 1/2 inch, and I'll show you why. Because this top, if you want all the weight supported on the bottom too, which almost all implements are, this top one is just a stabilizer this way. So you've got a little bit of play. Ideally, you want to get them all three flat and holding, but I don't have a precision workshop. Most of you guys don't either. So if you get it to where these two are both sitting flat, that's where all your weight is being held. And this is basically just acting as a top link. Supporting it in and out is really all it's doing. I think my tiller does this and it works just fine with all the weight on the bottom two hooks. I'm leveling this old school with basically just a string bob weight here, because you want this straight up and down. And basically centered of those two bottom pins is right on the edge of this metal bar. So I could almost take and cut these two off and basically swing them down, weld them straight up, because I need a 3-inch drop from here. So my top piece is going to be roughly right here. So I need a 3-inch drop from here and basically centered vertically this way. So I could probably whack these two off and make them work if I can get the angle right underneath. My calculations, I need basically two 5-inch pieces of flat metal here. I'm going to leave these on because they're not going to be long enough. So I got to dig through the scrap bin here. This is why I save stuff everywhere I go. Dig through the scrap bin there and find a couple of flat steel pieces. Fiddling with all of my backup parts. I got all kinds of extra pins and such. This is the top pin I pulled off of my tiller, so you could see I had to jury rig it. John Deere, which is the imatch, doesn't make this stuff easy. This size is 1 1/16, then you got 1 inch, then you got 7/8 pins, and here I had to jury rig the bushings to get it to work. But in this case, I decided I've got this old pipe, which is what I used on a couple of other implements. It's just about the right size for that top pin. I'll just use that instead of trying to jury rig up another bushing. Believe me, to get the correct bushing for the imatch, they're hard to get. You got to order them through John Deere. I believe it's actually 1.125" is the actual size for the imatch, but there's a little bit of play in there, so this rod should work just fine. So I got my 2 drop bars cut with the skill saw with the steel blade just fine, but I ran into a snag. This bar is super hardened, so I cannot get through it. Now it's time to break out the next bigger gun cutoff disc with the grinder, so let's see how that works. All right, there you have it. The grinder with the cutting disc did its job. Let's just hope I did my measurements right. Keep picking away on this. Distance from outside to outside is 4 7/8. So I got to bring a piece down here. Let me show you what I got. Alright, I got this piece all ready and set up to weld. It's 4 7/8 from inside to inside, because this is going to slide over the 2 rails I just showed you. So I'm going to tack these down in here. I got a spacer in here so that don't suck in, and start putting this thing together. Right, so now I got my piece all set up here. I got everything ground down where I'm going to weld. It's as square as I think I'm going to get it. And I'm going to put this top piece here, the round one, at one edge of this, and I'm going to show you why later on. This is just to get it tacked down and in place, and then I'll put it up on the vise and get a better weld on it. Time to dig in my welding stock. There's my welding rods in there, the way you're supposed to keep them nice and dry. I just use a very small, one of them low-powered swirly lights. I can't think of the name at this very moment. You know what I mean. Let's get some welding. Okay, so I welded up the bracket. These are 6-inch pieces. That's whatever this distance was, 4 7/8, I believe. It's just tapped into place now. It's because it's fitting snug on here, which is good. So now I line it up with the quick attach here. I'm actually going to bring it in and test it, and then weld this on. I might put another extra support in there, and we'll be set here very soon. All right, the easiest way that I've found, this is my 4th or 3rd one of converting these, is to just bring the quick attach in. That's really the best way to get all 3 points lined up. So you just set it in there. Okay, she's got to come up just a little more. You know, and then once I get where they're all sitting flush, I'll just level it vertically, put the welds on, and you're ready to rock and roll. Oh, that's pretty good right there. That's pretty darn good. That's it. One more quick adjustment. Weld this baby up, and then we'll try it and see if it works. All right, let's throw some more welds on here. I got her tacked down, but before I forget, I got these bushings exactly centered where they need to be. I'm going to throw a little tack weld on the inside of that bolt, just so that when I slide them on and off next time, they stop exactly right where they need to be. Okay, you can see my little tack weld there. Let's see if it worked and did its job. Yep. So all you need is a stopper. Perfect. I already checked the other side. It worked just the same. Clean this up a little. I switched between 70-14 and 60-11 sticks because welding upside down was giving me fits. I know I didn't get really good welds under there, but I think I got more than enough all the way around on this thing. And this really isn't a very heavy implement as far as implements go. I could lift the front end, and with the tractor I didn't even notice it on the loader, so it's a fairly light implement. Okay, if I did my job, this is the big moment of truth. Should be just load, hook up, and go. Pretty sure I got it lined up right, so let's give it a whirl. Alright, there's a completed project with a shot of Rust-Oleum, kind of to match the black wheels, and I don't have orange. So there you have it. Quick attach ready. Time to plant some corn, beans, and millet.